Ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster after the worst inflation in 48 years.
$40 trillion in debt. The Iran war is costing us right now, if you want to go ahead and bring it up, about $176.5 billion. I don't know about that, man. This Iran war is kind of draining the pockets right now. But all right, let's get back to him.
Wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals of all types, and 11,888 murders, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women's sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world.
No, shout out to the Supreme Court, because they did actually uphold the whole no men and women's sports. Now that it is like a nationwide law. So shout out to, so he got that win. He definitely got that one. When it comes to trans surgeries, as long as their radical leftist parents agree to it, then the kid can still trans themselves. So there's always that. That really wasn't nipped in the bud at all.
The world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2 years ago, our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week, it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years.
I ain't gonna lie, he got me salty with that one. I was like, bro, but we were at 2.4% inflation before the war. Then it skyrocketed to 4.2. Now, because of this ceasefire, we was able to get it back down to 3.5, or it cooled down to 3.5. So, come on, dog. You kind of effed up with inflation. It's kind of crazy to say, oh, we've seen a crazy drop of inflation. Yeah, because we stopped the war for a little bit. Now we're back on. So where do you think inflation is going to go?
Years just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars. With the provisions.
Make sure to double tap that screen like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen, and subscribe to the channel as well. If you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, feel free to super chat it in or send in a Venmo. All right, guys, let's get right back to it.
No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history. For years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nation's policy, because I was able to get the rest of the world.
I'll be real with you. Calling out the success of the stock market while affordability is still a main problem is a bit wild. You're just letting us know that, billionaires and millionaires are still doing their thing, making money. Now, the most favored nation, actually getting that from the pharmaceutical companies was a great thing. So we do got to give the Trump on that.
And the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov, this will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it. But the cost of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with prescription drugs. And with Trump accounts, every child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account, and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to TrumpAccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with 0 illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is 0. Nobody thought it was possible. We had the worst border in the history of our country, and now
I mean, let's be real though. You do got TDS if you can't give it to Trump on the border. He closed the border. Nobody's getting in, so that's a good thing. The problem is now getting these guys out and, well, doing it in a humane fashion, which I seem to have trouble doing, sadly. But I mean, I'm still supporting of the effort of mass immigration.
we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide, with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back, and
I mean, here's the thing. We didn't see too much from Epic Fury, and I'll be real with you. These current strikes is 90% less than what we were doing with Epic Fury. Like, we was really hitting these guys hundreds of targets a day. Now we've kind of lessened that. And the reason why is because we are running low on munitions. It's kind of obvious from our performance on the battlefield. So the problem is, how long can we do this? And like, is Trump just pretty much talking shit? Because like I said, strategic oil reserves running low, munitions running low. I mean, Iran shows no sign of surrendering anytime soon or giving us a more favorable deal. So, like, I mean, come on now, what's the plan here? And if you're just gonna start knocking out power plants and bridges, then guess what? Iran's gonna, well, they're gonna start knocking out power plants and bridges across the Middle East of our allies that we need to produce this oil and hold up the petrodollar.
doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence, revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure.
All right, and this is where things get a bit spicy. So the White House has established a task force to push for the declassification of Pacific intelligence files concerning alleged China election interference. Led by conservative journalist John Solomon, the review focuses heavily on materials connected to the 2020 presidential election. So the document push primarily revolves around 2 core elements of intelligence: the cyber dissent and the voter data claim. So let's see how Trump explains this.
This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes, and really exposes like levels never thought possible, to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these.
Now, guys, this is what he's pretty much going off of right here. And this comes from, well, yeah, the Department of National Intelligence.gov. All right. So the task force has specifically requested files related to dissent written by Christopher Porter, a former national intelligence officer for cyber at the ODNI. Porter's highly classified paper argued that China possessed both the capability and intention to interfere. This stood in contrast to the broad consensus reached in the formal 2021 intelligence community assessment, which concluded, with high confidence that China considered but ultimately did not deploy influence operation. So yeah, what they're coming out now is pretty much going against what the intelligence community said in 2021. And that was a broad consensus. Everybody was like, what do you mean? We already looked it over and there was nothing found. Well, now they're saying that they got something. And what Trump's about to go over is the voter data claim. So the Trump administration alleged that China illicitly obtained or hacked more than 200 million American voter registration files between 2021 and 2024. However, intelligence officers note that voter registration data is generally not confidential and is commercially available to political entities and does not provide a mechanism to manipulate actual voter outcome. Now, this is coming from Reuters, of course. All right, let's go ahead and get right back into it with Trump.
Documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what.
And like I said, guys, I'm reading through this, but here's the problem. It's like, okay, yeah, but like I read, that's easily accessible information. The problem is, though, how can you prove that China used that information to interfere in our elections? Like, you also got to prove that China had a way into hacking our machines, and it's doable. It's been done live on television, live on podcasts. You can hack an election machine, but you got to prove that China did it.
What was happening? This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people, in many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, the
intelligence agencies didn't really even want to inform us, because check it out right here. And this is coming pretty much out of CNN. Officials debate White House to push declassified documents. So the unilateral push to declassify these specific files has triggered severe internal debate. Officials from intelligence agencies and the FBI have expressed concern that releasing a narrow, unrepresentative slice of raw intelligence could expose critical collection methods. Intelligence experts also worry that selective empathizing minority dissents over finalized and high confidential assessments will present a distorted and misleading narrative regarding the security of past U.S. election outcomes. So it's the way Trump is phrasing is like, bro, by the way you're phrasing is, when did we ever have a real election at this point? Like, bro, when you got voted in, were you voted in like on by the choice of the people? Because the way you're making it sound is as if we never had a fair election in our life. But don't worry, we'll get into more details later. Let's get right back to it.
They kept saying this is the most secure election in the history of our country, a standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say the cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his reelection. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the...
I mean, if you go on with the document, I mean, this is what you're pretty much going to pull out of it. Like, so the files, yes, the records are authentic. Yep, these are government provided. You can look at the DNI website. Now, the votes, no evidence shows that China altered vote counts, but it does show that China did collect voter information. Now, if we're talking about the data, yes. So yeah, pretty much China harvesting voter information available publicly online. I mean, like I said, it's really like a nothing burger. And they're taking the dissent of, they're pretty much choosing one side of an argument right now, like in the intelligence community, because that's what the document really represents, a genuine internal intelligence disagreement. One side of the intelligence, which is the winning side, pretty much saying that, nah, it's all good, it's all secure. We can't prove that China had any manipulation. And the other side is going like, well, actually, the fact that we're able to get our voter registration, all this good stuff, what does that say? And to be honest with you, I would say it's honestly nothing burger. But official reviews confirmed that the 2020 election was secured. Multiple state audits verified the final tallies. Intelligence agencies stand by their finalized assessment. So this is an argument in intelligence going on as we speak, and releasing raw files highlighting ongoing foreign capabilities. So yeah, it's pretty much like citing that, China does have the capabilities to take voter information, but it is public information. However, it does not prove the results were compromised. So it's still missing that, I would say, oh shit moment of showing us that, China definitely did interfere in our elections. This is how they did it. They just did it, this, that, and the third. Nope. All it says is that China has the capability, but we don't have the proof that they did it.
CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to...
I'm weak. It's like pretty much Iran with nukes. Like, yeah, they got the capability to make nukes, but they didn't do it.
To influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the president of the United States of America. The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them. charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance.
And I mean, this is pretty much what the White House is reporting right now. So let's see here to say China's pretty much targeting machines. So the administration released a series of assessments spanning from 2020 to 2026, arguing that centralized data repositories and electric ballot counting machines are fundamentally vulnerable to cyber penetration by hostile adversaries, including China and Russia. So yes, this is on the White House website as we speak.
One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people.
Damn. There were already firings. Let's see here. So there was a bipartisan election assistance committee. So the EAC, they were ousted. So just days prior to the Trump speech, Trump fired the remaining members of the Independent Election Assistance Commission, including both Democratic commissioners, leaving the election administration advisory body entirely vacant ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. This is a bit controversial, I'm not gonna lie.
Feeling China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election.
Oh God, you have any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements, or a joke that you want to put out there? Go ahead and super chat it in. I'd be happy to read it out loud. And make sure to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are
It's like, guys, he's pretty much saying that, yeah, they're vulnerable, but we don't have proof that China interfered in our election. He's pretty much saying that, I mean, look, our voter registry is able to be picked up by China. I mean, yeah, that's true, and China did do that, but that is public information. And then also, he's like, all right, well, it's like, oh, and also our voter machines and no voter respiratory, like all that, all those files and all that good stuff, that's vulnerable. That could be hacked. I mean, yeah, sure. You guys have shown the capability of being able to hack it, but we don't have proof that China did it. So this is the problem with Trump's address. It's like it's a nothing burger. We don't have any proof that China stole our election. All we have proof is that China has the capability of taking voter registrations, or my bad, but voter information.
most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went.
Whoa, hold on, bro. Well, then we got to have a way of detecting it. Therefore, like, it's like a nothing burger. It's like, oh, well, there's election fraud. Okay, where's the proof? Well, they did it so well that you can't detect it. Well, okay, then. Well, I mean, we better find a way to detect it, or we don't have anything.
This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged.
I'm sorry. I thought this was actually something, guys, but now that I'm reading through it, it's like low-key a nothing burger. It's like saying China got the capability, but we don't got proof that they did it. It's like, and then it's like, now he's saying that, well, they do it so good, so smooth, man. You just can't, bro, you just can't pick it up. It was so slick the way they do it. You know, they code with the cybersecurity, with the cyber infiltration, man. You know, it's China out there. You can't beat those Chinese boys. And I'm like, okay, great. Way to glaze China. But the problem is, though, if we can't catch it, then, bro, what you're saying is a nothing burger. That means we don't have any proof that China actually interfered in our elections. That's the problem. And the Chinese embassy in Washington issued a formal denial. Of course they would, stating Beijing has never interfered and will never interfere in U.S. domestic presidential elections. I mean, of course they're going to say that. And here's the thing. Of course we're going to say that because we got no proof.
Fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat get out the vote organization.
I ain't gonna lie, guys. I thought I was gonna get a full stack burger, bro. Cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, built like a Krabby Patty. And then I bit into it, and it was just bread. Nothing but bread. Damn it, Trump, bruh. Like, what the fuck? I thought we was finally getting the answers that we needed to actually prove that election fraud actually went down. But no, we didn't get anything. We got a complete nothing burger. This is all pretty much saying that, oh, well, China got the capability, but we got no proof that they did it. And you can't sit there and hit us with the BS of, oh, what they do is so good, so smooth that you just can't detect it. Then what are you saying? I mean, you better find a way to detect it before you come out on live television and say this.
Corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned. They couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning.
And here's a problem, guys. I mean, so the declassified files did not prove that a pay to vote scheme. The release material strictly focused on cybersecurity vulnerabilities. They document the hacking of voter registration rolls, but they do not reveal any voter bribery plots. So that has not been assessed by the intelligence community. So yeah. Like, hey man, like I said, like, dog, you need to provide more proof. Like, why they come out here and have you say all this?
Investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been
trying. You see, key word, guys, trying. That, AKA, we ain't got no proof that they actually did it. Or the assess, we're trying to tell you guys that, oh, they're trying. This is why we need the SAVE Act and all this good stuff. I'm like, dog, the way you're coming out here made it sound like every election has been manipulated. Like, well, I don't know since when. I have no idea. Like, he really got to back that up as well. And it's like, well, you told me that China wanted us to have a Trump, then Biden, then Trump again. It's like, what are you saying here? Like, how far did the manipulation go? And once again, where is the definitive proof that China did it?
Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, a long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC fake news have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason.
Like Trump, I want to believe that. I want to believe you. I wanted to believe you. During the whole address, I'm like, damn, maybe he actually does got proof. Let me look this up. Now I'm reading the assessment. I'm like, bro, there's no proof that of election interference. You're just saying that China got the capabilities, so they did it. It's like, bro, that's the same bullshit you selling us with Iran. It's like, well, you know, Iran got the capability to make nukes, so they're doing it. It's like, what? Like, capability doesn't mean they're doing it. And if you can't prove it, then I'm sorry, shut up then and go ahead and put your nose to the ground and look. Give us some proof, definitive proof. Not, oh, they got the capability, so it's so. Like, no, we're not going with that. Nobody should be going with that of what Trump is saying. Like, I'm sorry, but that's wild for him to sit there and say that, okay, well, China got the capability to hack our elections, but we don't got proof that they did it. What are you saying then?
Want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections.
Oh, guys, you got any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements? Feel free to super chat it in or send in a Venmo, guys. Appreciate the support. And make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. All right, let's keep it going.
Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to.
I mean, I'll agree, bro. We do need the SAVE Act. I would like to, bro. Here's the thing: we need to sell it differently to the Democrats. We need to call it the "Make the Republicans Shut the Fuck Up Forever" Act. Why? Because if we get it passed, and if when the Democrats get it with us or play along with us with this, like, God, just play along with us, bro. Just go with us on this, and you will shut us up forever. Now, the next time an election don't go Republicans' way, you're going to be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about election fraud. We passed it. We passed the act. You can't say a goddamn thing. So that's why we need to rephrase it, the "Make the Republicans Shut the Fuck Up Forever" Act. And then trust me, the Dems are going to get along with it. They're going to love the name.
Divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing